for daily Ask Reddit. r/Ask Reddit. What is the worst thing you've seen a little child do? If you like the video, drop a like and subscribe so you never miss a video. When my cousin was about 4 years old, caught him spraying hairspray into the furnace flames trying to blow the house up. Good times. Ah yes, the scene test. I do a lot of secure transports between hospitals and psych facilities. I once transported an 8-year-old kid who flushed his parents' insulin because he knew they needed it to live. Jesus. A friend of mine in elementary school would literally beat up her mother. When her mother became pregnant, she would kick and punch her mother's belly. She was like 10. I remember my mom always stepping in if it happened while we were around, but it was like this poor woman was afraid of her own daughter and she just took it. SMH. When I was in grade school, there was a girl who was like this. In 8th grade, her mother tried to reprimand her for a failing mark. The girl stabbed her mother repeatedly with a screwdriver that night. Remember that scene in Game of Thrones where Gregor Clegane fights a Baron Martell and pushes his eyes in to blow his head up? My mother works in a kindergarten where they accept special needs kids too. She told me one day one of the more special kids got another kid on the ground and started pressing his eyes in just like in the show. All the other kids started screaming in terror, not to mention the poor victim, and the attending adult couldn't even get him off. He was gripping his victim so hard. One of the other kids had to run for help and they could finally get him off. Luckily the kid didn't suffer any lasting harm. Saw a young girl enter a store with her mom and throw a fit when she couldn't get a Barbie doll. Her wailing caused a group of people to show up and things blew up when the girl decided to say that the woman was not her mom. Police were called. I, being a young stoker at the end of my shift, told my manager that the girl came in with a woman and promptly clocked out. Long story short, told to me by the manager the next day, the police sorted the situation and they left the property a few hours later. That's crazy. I've seen a couple of other stories in this thread where the kid pretended to be kidnapped. I think they're using the whole stranger danger thing to their advantage because they know someone is going to take them seriously. Oh gosh, the list could go on for me, but here is one incident that really irked me. My sophomore year of college, my cousin asked me if I can take her 2 daughters, 11 and 6, to the mall because she was busy and the girls wanted to use their spending money. We go to the mall, I buy them ice cream, and they spend their money. As we're leaving, we pass Claire's and boy oh boy does the youngest want to check it out. Now here is some backstory with these kids. Their mom, my cousin, doesn't pun it. I had their son throw a toy train at me once and all I got in response when I told his mom was he's 9 and you're 19. Just be the bigger person. He's just a kid. That kind of parenting. Anyways, I tell the 6-year that we can look, but because she already spent her money, we weren't buying anything. As soon as we walk in, she goes up to something she wants and says buy this for me. When I say no, she announces in the store fine then, I'll just take it, and proceeds to walk out the door. I take the U back and tell her that we are going home. Never have I seen a kid throw a tantrum like this in my life. The worst part was every time I tried to carry her or grab her hand she'd scream help me, I don't know you. The oldest kid records all of it and sends it to her mom, who then simply responds haha, good luck. When we got home, my cousin told me she wouldn't have thrown the tantrum if you just got her the toy. I was livid. A neighbor's kid would mercilessly throw their 2 cats into the pool. The cats would fight and scratch, but that didn't stop the boy from flinging the cats repeatedly into the pool and forcing them to swim or drown. His father finally broke him of this behavior by throwing the kid in the pool, clothes and all, every time he caught his son torturing the cats. Reminds me of a patient I saw at work once. She came in to be seen as a walk-in. Dad was looking to have her admitted. I was getting her registered and checked in and noticed her hands and what I could see of her wrists. She was wearing long sleeves, were all cut up. I thought little of it, assuming it was self-harm. Being a psych hospital, we see that all the time. I used to self-harm myself, though, and the wounds on her hands and fingers did make me wonder just a bit, because that's a little unusual. It's a highly visible location and quite mobile too. I shrugged it off. She went back for assessment. Come to find out from the social worker that met with her, the patient had strangled the family's pet cat to death. The wounds on her hands and arms were from the cat's claws. She had pinned it on its back and strangled it as it tore her arms to shreds. Ducking hell.